And so, here we are, folks. The very last officially released Christmas special that Rankin-Bass put out before the company folded in 1987, and arguably one of their best. It's based on a novel from 1902 written by L. Frank Baum. You know, the guy who wrote the original Wizard of Oz books that we all know and love. Yeah, a lot of people are surprised to learn that he wrote more than just Oz, but he was a fairly prolific children's author for his time. It's just that nothing he wrote outside of Oz sold that well, and most of his back catalog beyond that has largely been forgotten. Save for The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, which has managed something of a resurgence over the years, probably helped by the small smattering of occasional adaptations it's gotten, including this one. The story begins during a council of the leaders of the Immortals called together by the Great Ack. The reason for this meeting is because Santa Claus is about to make his final ride. He will be dead before the morning. Great Ack, seeing how much love and joy Santa brings to the world, wants to convince the rest of the Immortals to allow him to bestow the ultimate gift they can offer onto Santa, the Mantle of Immortality. To convince them, Ack tells them the story of how he found the young Santa as a babe abandoned at the edge of the woods. A young fairy raises Santa to adulthood, where the Great Ack takes him to see the world of man, granting him a sash of invisibility so that none can see or hear him, so that he can witness just how miserable the world of man currently is. Not wanting to leave the world in such a state, Claus decides that he needs to do something about it, living in the mortal realm, but always assisted by his immortal friends in the forest as he becomes a toy maker, in hopes of spreading warmth and joy to the world. This puts him in direct conflict with a species of creatures known as the Ogwa, invisible, spiteful beasts who thrive on human anger and misery. I really like this special. I'd say it's probably my second favorite of all the Rankin-Bass specials after coming to town. While it plays out like a fairy tale, it has a darker tone than pretty much every other one of the specials to date. Sure, it's never very intense, and you could still throw it on for kids, but it's impressive how little they shy away from some of the more serious moments of the story. In fact, the character of Tingler was added to the story because the company felt it needed to add some form of comic relief to the special to offset the darker and more serious moments. And more than any other specials, except perhaps the original Little Drummer Boy, this special takes itself a lot more seriously. There's almost no physical comedy, and apart from Tingler, little else in terms of jokes or funny moments. Plenty of heartwarming moments though, and I dare say some outright epic moments as well. Hell, there's even a battle scene between two armies. Okay, it looks fairly primitive now, but you gotta understand this was really ambitious for its time, especially in comparison to the things that came before. The characters themselves are once again portrayed very well here. Young Santa sounds like he's struggling a little bit here and there, like he's just a little bit too enthusiastic, but that goes away once an older voice sets in. Ironically, the only character I didn't really like that much in the story was Tingler, as his obvious role of the comic relief, while welcome, comes off as more invasive compared to the other forms of comic relief, and his big gimmick of being able to speak basically every language in the world, including that of animals, wears thin really fast. He's also kind of ugly and off-putting, which I can't say about any other character in this special, because everyone here is beautifully designed. The puppets look amazing, and the designs for the various magical and immortal creatures are great, with even the villains, the Ogwas, managing to strike a balance between scary and intimidating, and kind of endearingly goofy looking as well. The animation has never looked better. While I'm sure no one working on it could have known that this was going to be their last special, all of the people who worked on the animation, character, and set design of this special deserve a round of applause for just how good it looks all round. Sadly, the sound design does make it falter a bit. I had a bit of a problem with some of the voices, as a few of them didn't really feel like they fit the characters, or the actors seemed like they were having difficulty with their roles. And someone was a really big fan of using the lightning and thunder sound effects, because they show up a lot here. The background music and sound effects are pretty decent, but the songs not so much. A lot like Tingler, I don't feel like the songs fit that well into the story. Some of them feel like they come right out of nowhere, and there's not a huge variety in the music. The only big upbeat song that we get is Big Surprise, which the children sing to Claus in an effort to get him to bring them toys. All of the other songs, though, they're okay, but like I said, they don't feel like they slot in very naturally, and they're all slower, more bellowing, ballad-esque songs. Not bad in execution, but nothing that leaves a huge impression with me. So yeah, I think this was a great special. In terms of being an adaptation, though, I'd recommend just reading the original book, or even watching the 2000 traditional animated version directed by Glenn Hill, as the short runtime of this special definitely makes it the most truncated form of the story. But as a standalone special, and as a capstone on all that had come before it, I can definitely say it's really damn good.